Hello YouTube, and welcome to part 2 of my favorite albums of 2023. So, if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and finish it off here. Alrighty. So, next up at 35 is Slasher Dave with Age Old Tradition. So I love Slasher Dave's solo work. Every single one of his albums, all of his EPs, and dude, he just releases so much shit when it comes to this project. But yeah, Age Old Tradition is awesome. It's probably one of the most darkest and creepiest sounding albums he's done in a while, which is saying a lot for Slasher Dave's music. But yeah, just with all the Halloween vibes, more so than usual on his on the Slasher Dave project. Yeah, this is just killer horror soundtrack music. Absolutely love it. I love when he releases a Slasher Dave album every Halloween, or pretty much anyway. And yeah, don't really know what else to say. If you like that, horror soundtrack type music, mainly on the, the synth side, check it out. So, Slasher Dave, Age Old Tradition. Next up, we go to Sulphur Aeon with 7 Crowns and 7 Seals. This is another really good album from Sulphur Aeon, black death metal band, or blackened death metal band, however you want to say it, from Germany. Still doing the Lovecraft thing, of course. I don't think they're ever gonna stop doing that anytime soon. But yeah, just really, really good stuff. Very good songs, very good playing. And a little more melodic compared to their past releases, and a little slower as well, but still some very cool, like, atmospheric type moments, and just the title track 7 Crowns and 7 Seals was like very, very just sort of epic sounding, and just, yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. So if you are a fan of what Sulphur Aeon has done so far, you should definitely check this out as well if you haven't already. So, Sulphur Aeon, 7 Crowns, and 7 Seals. Next up, we go to Ungol with Dark Parade, the kings, or one of the kings, in my opinion, of the epic heavy metal style return with Dark Parade. And I really, really loved Forever Black from 2020, and I think I might even like this a little better because this is a bit heavier, honestly, and just, I think the songs might overall just be better on here. There's just, there's several tracks on here where it's had these just awesome, prolonged guitar solos that are just so fucking epic and badass sounding. Yeah, I love the guitar work on here. Like I said, the never-ending solos on some of these songs, and just unfortunately, Ungol has said that this is the is it this year or last year is going to be their last year touring, but they are still interested in doing new music, which I'm happy to hear. So yeah. If you're a fan of Ungol, this is just business as usual for them, and yeah, this is just, like I said, I think I might like this a little more than Forever Black. So yeah, Ungol, Dark Parade, awesome, awesome stuff. Next up, we go to Malokarpatan with Vertumnus Caesar. Malokarpatan is a Slovakian band that combines old school black metal and traditional heavy metal, and also a lot of other weird experimental stuff as well. There's a lot of moments on this album that kind of sounds like the Suspiria soundtrack, honestly, if you're familiar with that horror movie. And yeah, just the songs are just really, really cool. The vocals are awesome, and just yeah, it's definitely on the weird side of black heavy metal, but still just very, very cool stuff. And yeah, if you like your black heavy metal a little more weird and experimental and epic, I would say, yeah, check out Malokarpatan if you haven't. Next, we go to Left Cross with Upon Desecrated Altars. This is a profound lore release. This is just very cool, dark death metal. So if you like your death metal, very dark and very just crushing, and just to be honest, I don't really know who to compare Left Cross to. They kind of just, because there's a lot of bands that do the dark death metal thing, of course, but you know, they don't really sound, there's nothing I can really think of that they sound like. They honestly, Left Cross just kind of sounds like themselves. So yeah, if you're looking for some just original and unique sounding dark death metal, definitely check out Left Cross with Upon Desecrated Altars. Next, we go to Vastum with Inward to Gethsemane. I really loved their last album in 2019, Orificial Purge, and I think I might like this one a little better. They lean more into the creepy, atmospheric kind of stuff on this album, and it's just really, really awesome. Don't know what else to say. This just probably one of the coolest death metal releases for this year, and as I've already talked about, there were very, very many, and this is still, I would say, a standout with Vastum, Onward to Inward to Gethsemane. My bad. Next up, we go to Moonlight Sorcery with Horn Lord of the Thorned Castle. So, another black metal release on this list, which I was not expecting, but this is just very cool, unique stuff. I love the power metal-esque guitar work that's on here. Just all the soloing and stuff is just really, 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 really well played, and it's just really, really cool sounding. There's some very cheesy sort of keyboards on here, but it still just kind of adds to the awesomeness of it. And as some people have already talked about with this album, describing it, it's kind of like melodic power black metal. Really, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a mixture of melodic black metal and power metal, because this is just very much power metal sounding guitars, but you know, with black metal vocals, and it's a very odd blend, sure, and it might put some people off, and it may not be for everybody, especially because of the cheesy keyboards added, but I personally love it. I think it's probably one of the most fun releases that came out this year within metal and extreme metal. So yeah, Moonlight Sorcery, Horn Lord of the Thorned Castle. This is a very, very cool release, I thought. Next up, we go to Cruciamentum with Obsidian Refractions. This is their second full length. It's been a long time coming since Charnel Passages came out in 2015, but this is a very, very good follow-up, and I think it's probably even better. I think this is the best album that they've done so far. Just overall better songwriting, better production, and just, yeah. Now, like I said, just better songs overall, I feel like. And but still the dark death metal that you want from Cruciamentum. And yeah, you're gonna see this on a lot of lists this year for sure. So yeah, and still on Profound Lore. I don't know if I mentioned that already. So Cruciamentum with Obsidian Refractions. Next up, we are going to go to Blood and Steel. So a lot of you probably haven't heard of this band. This is an independent release. It's from right here in my hometown. And you can give me shit for this all you want, but my dad is the bass player in this band. This is their debut full length, and sure, am I supporting this because, you know, my family is part of it? Yes, but I also think that they do well. First of all, this is just classic heavy metal. And I think that they do this style very, very well. And honestly, I don't really think they sound like anybody else. I think Dad and the singer Otto and the drummer Dan, I think they've all done a very, very good job of doing something that sounds like themselves and not really anybody else. Sure, you can say it's Maiden influenced or Priest influenced, but I really don't think they sound like anybody else. I really don't. And I think these are great songs. I think they've done a very good job with this being their debut. And yeah, I'm not just saying it because my dad is the bass player in this band. Just if you're a fan of the classic metal sound, I think you should check this out. I really do. So that's Blood and Steel, Crimson Knightfall. That is their debut full length. And I'll leave the link so you can go and listen to it and purchase it if you would like. So, next up we go to Century with the Conquest of Time. This is a traditional heavy metal band from Sweden, and yeah, it's just really, really good traditional heavy metal. If you like that stuff, check out Century with the Conquest of Time. And next up we go to Solitary Sabred or Sabred with Temple of the Serpent. This is their second full length. This is a concept that has something to do with like a Lich King and necromancers or some shit. It's just really, really cool, like epic style heavy metal that's also a blend of like power and speed metal, I would say, because I was a really big fan of their last release, Fire and Brimstone, or By Fire and Brimstone, however you say it. But this is a band from Cyprus, and they sound like a combination of Sanctuary and Hellstar, which, if you know anything about me, if your band can sound like those two bands, especially just be like a mixture of the two, then that is a sound that an album that I'm immediately just gonna fall in love with. This vocalist sounds so much like James Rivera. It's very, very obvious. It's probably one of his favorite singers and one of the biggest influences on his voice. But yeah, this is a very cool follow-up to the first album, and I like it just as much, honestly. So yeah, Solitary Sabred or Sabred with Temple of the Serpent. 1 second. And the final album that I had to talk about here, with coming in at number 45, is Phobocosm with Foreordained. And this is once again on Dark Descent, and it is very, very cool to see Phobocosm come back. Once again, if you're a fan of the dark death metal stuff and you like Portal, except you don't really want much experimentation, you just want a straight up crushing death metal sound, yeah, then definitely check out Phobocosm. What else was I gonna say? I can't remember, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end that here. The final album I have to talk about is Phobocosm with Foreordained, and that is gonna do it with my favorite albums of 2023. So before I get out of here, I'm just gonna say that you know, this is not your list, it is my list, so please do not complain about something that I left off or something that you don't like on here or whatever, because I don't care, because it's my list and these are my picks. So but yeah, to anyone that has stuck with me, to any subscribers that are still here from when I made my last video 2 years ago, thank you for sticking around, and I don't know when the next video is going to be. I can't promise that I'm going to get back into like a consistent sort of uploading schedule, but yeah, the next video will be here when it gets here. And so I thank everyone that tunes in for the next time I come back and talk about the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this list, and if there's something that I left off here that you think I'd be interested in or that I should check out, then please, please, by all means, drop it in the comments. So, Happy New Year to everybody, and yeah, I'll see you whenever I do this next video, as I previously stated. So, everyone, have a good one, take it easy, see you later.